Option A. Most people think conditional approval means something went wrong with their global entry application. But here is the truth: over 40% of applicants receive conditional approval, and the vast majority of them get fully approved without changing a single thing. That confusion costs travelers weeks of unnecessary anxiety and, more importantly, trips where they are still standing in the long customs line when they did not have to be. Option B. You just got conditionally approved for global entry. You paid your $100, you waited weeks for a decision, and now the system is telling you to wait some more. What most applicants do not realize is that conditional approval is not a warning sign. It is actually the normal path for nearly half of all applications, and understanding what happens next can save you hours on your very next international trip. Option C. Here is something that stops thousands of travelers cold every year. They apply for global entry, they get conditionally approved, and then they do absolutely nothing for 60, 90, sometimes 120 days while they wait for a status update. What they did not know is that there are legal, legitimate ways to get through customs faster starting on day one of conditional approval, before your interview is even scheduled. That gap in knowledge is costing people real time on real trips right now. Final hook, Option C. Here is something that stops thousands of travelers cold every year. They apply for global entry, they get conditionally approved, and then they do absolutely nothing for 60, 90, sometimes 120 days while they wait for a status update. What they did not know is that there are legal, legitimate ways to get through customs faster starting on day one of conditional approval, before your interview is even scheduled. That gap in knowledge is costing people real time on real trips right now. Welcome back. If you are new here, this channel is dedicated to helping Americans navigate the global entry program from application all the way through renewal, with no government jargon and no guesswork. Today we are going all in on conditional approval. What it actually is, why it happens to you and not your travel partner who applied the same day, how long it realistically takes to resolve, and what you can do right now to still move faster through customs while you wait. Let's start with the basics that most people get wrong before we get into the strategy. Conditional approval is not a denial. It is not a red flag. It is the government's way of saying your application looks acceptable, but we need a little more time to complete our background verification. That is the entire meaning. Nothing more alarming than that. CBP, Customs and Border Protection, uses automated systems to process global entry applications. When that system can verify everything it needs to quickly, you get what is called immediate approval, or more accurately, approval pending your in-person interview. When the automated system hits a data point it cannot instantly resolve, it flags you for additional review and you land in conditional approval status. So what actually triggers conditional approval instead of moving you straight to the interview scheduling stage? There are several common causes. A common name. If your first and last name combination belongs to many people in federal databases, the system takes longer to confirm it has the right person. Address history. If you have moved frequently, lived abroad, or have gaps in your residential history in government records, the system needs more time. Travel history. Extensive international travel, especially to certain countries, adds processing time. Criminal record flags. Even minor past incidents, traffic violations in some cases, or arrests without convictions, can trigger additional review. This does not mean you will be denied. It means a human being will review your file. Data mismatches. If the name on your passport differs slightly from what appears in another federal system, the automated check cannot resolve it cleanly. Name changes. Marriage, divorce, legal name changes all require manual verification. Now, how long does conditional approval actually take? The honest answer is that it varies, but here are the real-world ranges you should plan around. Most conditional approval periods resolve within 3 to 6 weeks, meaning CBP completes their additional review and moves you to the next stage, which is scheduling your in-person interview. Some cases take 8 to 12 weeks. A smaller number stretch to 4 to 6 months, typically when there is a more complex background element to verify. True outliers can take longer, but those are rare and almost always involve specific legal or immigration history. Here is the key thing to understand about timing. Conditional approval ending does not mean you have global entry. It means you are now cleared to schedule your interview. You still need to complete that interview at an enrollment center before your membership is fully activated. Now let us talk about the mistakes that cost people weeks or even months of unnecessary delay. Mistake 1: submitting an incomplete or inconsistent application. Every address should match what appears in your official records. Every date of birth, every name spelling, should be exact. Small inconsistencies are one of the most common triggers for extended conditional review. Mistake 2: not checking the GO system, now integrated into the TTP portal, regularly. Some applicants go weeks without logging in and miss a request for additional information from CBP. If CBP sends you a document request and you do not respond within a reasonable window, your application can stall indefinitely. Mistake 3: calling CBP's General Customer Service line to ask about your status. Those agents cannot see the details of your background review. You will get generic information that does not help you and frustration that does not help your mood. There are better channels for status inquiries. Mistake 4: assuming you cannot travel internationally while under conditional review. You absolutely can. And here is where the real missed opportunity lies. But here is what almost every traveler gets completely wrong about this. You do not need active global entry status to access TSA PreCheck lanes at domestic airports. When you are in conditional approval status, your known traveler number, your KTN, has already been issued. You can enter that number in your airline profile today. And when you fly domestically, many airlines will populate the PreCheck indicator on your boarding pass using that number. Let that land for a moment. You are in conditional approval, your global entry is not active yet, and you can still potentially be walking through the faster TSA screening lane on domestic flights right now. Not every ticket will show the PreCheck indicator, and it is not 100% guaranteed on every flight, but the KTN is live and usable the moment it is issued, which happens when your conditional approval begins. This is the feature of the program that almost nobody talks about. The $100 you paid is already working for you, even before your interview. To find your KTN, log into the Trusted Traveler Programs portal at ttp.cbp.dhs.gov. Your known traveler number will be listed in your account details. Copy that number. Then go into your frequent flyer profile for every airline you use and add it to your profile under the known traveler number or secure traveler field. Do this today. Smart travelers in conditional approval status do 3 things while they wait. First, they activate that KTN and add it to every airline profile they have. American Airlines, Delta, United, Southwest, every one of them. They also make sure it is saved in their account on any booking platform they use like Expedia or Google Flights. Second, they monitor the TTP portal once a week. Not obsessively, once a week. They are watching for any document requests from CBP and they are watching for a status change that opens up interview scheduling. Third, the moment their status changes from conditional approval to approved pending interview, they move immediately to schedule that interview. Interview slots fill up fast at popular enrollment centers. The travelers who check their portal regularly and book the moment scheduling opens are the ones who activate their full global entry membership weeks ahead of everyone who waits. If you want a complete walkthrough of what to expect at the enrollment interview itself, globalentrypriority.com has a step-by-step breakdown of that entire process. Worth bookmarking now so you are ready when that interview slot becomes available. Here is your exact action plan if you are currently sitting in conditional approval status. Step 1. Log into ttp.cbp.dhs.gov right now and locate your known traveler number. It is in your account profile. Step 2. Add that KTN to every airline loyalty account you have. If you book through third-party sites, add it there too. Make sure your legal name in your airline profile matches your passport exactly. Step 3. Set a weekly calendar reminder to check your TTP portal. You are looking for 2 things: any message or document request from CBP, and a status change that allows you to schedule an interview. Step 4. Research the enrollment centers nearest to you right now. Know your options. Some major airports have enrollment centers with relatively short wait times for interviews. Some cities have off-site enrollment center locations that are easier to get into. If you are willing to travel to a different city for your interview, you may be able to schedule it significantly faster. Step 5. If your conditional approval has extended past 6 months with no communication from CBP, you have the option to contact the CBP Info Center directly. You can also reach out through your congressional representative's office, which has a constituent services function specifically designed to help with federal agency delays. This is a legitimate and underused resource. Step 6. If you are renewing rather than applying for the first time, note that your existing membership remains active during renewal processing. You can continue using global entry kiosks on international arrivals and TSA PreCheck on domestic departures throughout the renewal period, including any conditional approval phase. Conditional approval is not a problem. It is a process. It affects nearly half of all applicants. It resolves for the vast majority of them without any additional action required on their part, and it does not have to mean weeks of travel where you lose out on every benefit you paid for. Your KTN is active. Your PreCheck access is available. Your interview will come. The travelers who understand how the system actually works are the ones moving through airports faster right now, while others are standing in lines wondering what went wrong. If you found this useful, subscribe to this channel. We publish deep dives on every stage of the global entry process every week. And check out globalentrypriority.com if you want a comprehensive resource on the application, interview, and renewal process all in one place. Next video we are covering what actually happens inside the global entry enrollment interview, question by question, so you are not walking in blind. See you there.